Welcome back into the show. It's the Roundup here on Alamo Sports and Talk, 1230-1019. And Alamogordo Tigers head football coach AJ Cisco joins us. Coach, how are you?
I'm good, man. It's homecoming week.
It is homecoming week. It's a very, very busy week. Lots of things going on. But I think as we always talk about, you've been a proponent of, letting the kids obviously have their fun Monday through Thursday, and then obviously, and maybe earlier in the day on Friday, but Friday is obviously time to focus.
Oh, absolutely. We had the parade yesterday. We had powder fluff on Monday, which a bunch of our football players played in that in the volleyball game. Last night we had powder puff after the parade, which was a blast. All those girls and then our football players are coaching it. So, it's been a good week so far. It's been a good atmosphere on campus, and you got a ton of athletic events. If you went to the volleyball game on Tuesday night and watched our girls win in 3 straight, you saw a really good student section there. So we're hoping to get a big student section night at soccer games, at volleyball games. There's a lot going on. Just to support all these kids and athletes this week.
I think I also saw some guys doing some cheerleading as well. Was that some football?
That was soccer. That was soccer. Boys soccer out there.
All right.
Now we're a proponent of everybody's got to get out there and support everybody. So I know on Tuesday night, boys soccer was in that student section too. Yeah. And it was and the girls came and told me afterwards how awesome that student section was, and it's just getting kids out, support each other. Like we all represent Alamogordo High School. We all represent this community. So as many of these kids we can get to these events and support each other, it just builds that community aspect of our high school.
Well, I don't know if there's ever been a more apt statement after the trip you made last week, but it's nice to be home.
It is actually. It's dang sure nice to be home after that 7.5-hour bus ride one way.
Yes, absolutely. Certainly not the results you guys wanted. Obviously, you had a chance there at the end of the game, but probably for the first time this year, you can sit there and say you guys really didn't execute the way you wanted to offensively and defensively. I thought you guys played solid, but just they made some plays when they needed to.
They did, and this all goes on my shoulders. We didn't handle the trip very well, I don't think, and I don't know about our attitude or any of that. I thought we traveled really well in that regard. We had no energy. We were very lethargic is what we looked like, and especially running to the football, executing at a high level, which is something that we haven't had in the first 3 weeks. And that's all on me. Like, that goes on my shoulders. We got to get off the bus and be ready to play a lot better than regardless of how long the trip is or not. I thought our kids battled. You go to that game at 7-7 in the fourth quarter. We give up a huge trick play that they go down score. Then we give up the onside kick. But we continue to fight, go down score really fast, which we told them we had to do, and then have a shot at the end of the game, which shows you that we're resilient and we'll fight, but we can't put ourselves in that situation with just the lack of consistent play throughout. I thought we told you it was a shortened possession game. We only had 2 possessions in the first half, and then you get the second possession going and we get inside their 40 or 30, and then we make 2 really bad plays, and now we're having to punt at the end of the second quarter instead of scoring a touchdown, which was huge. Because we really could have put our throat on their neck and make them have to throw the ball a lot, and we didn't, and they let them line up in their stuff and run their offense, which they kind of got after us with. But Coach Haney and his staff did a good job of making adjustments throughout the game to slow them down and not let them just run over us and control the clock. And we didn't do a good job offensively of sustaining drives, and when we got drives going, we found ways to screw it up. But credit to our kids, credit to PV, man. They played well. It's homecoming night for them. They're a good football team. They're going to be in the playoffs probably, so hopefully our kids are hoping they get a chance to see them again.
Yeah. Hopefully here in Alamogordo, obviously, that would be the encouraging thing.
If it's up there, we're traveling on Friday and playing on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a tough deal. And it's for those kids, that's a first-time experience. They've never had to make that trip that long. They've been on 4-hour, 5-hour bus rides before, but there is something about you basically are on the road basically the entire day. It's almost 8 hours. So
yeah, and football, we're all creatures of habit. Like, we have a routine that our kids know what our routine is Monday through Friday. They know the time of things happening, and then you go on a trip like that, and we leave at 8 a.m. and then we don't get off a bus till 4:30 after a dinner and after lunch and all that. So that does throw off the routine a little bit. It's not an excuse. That's like, we have to be able to handle that kind of stuff, and that's stuff for us. And it's good for us because our expectations are to be in the playoffs, and if you're in the playoffs, you're going to have to travel, and we've got to learn how to handle those type of trips in the playoffs. So it was a learning moment for us. I thought we got a lot to learn from that game, not just X's and O's, but just how we travel and take long trips and prepare for the future of this program.
Yeah, and I've talked about earlier in the week that I know you guys would never use that as an excuse, but certainly it was a factor. There's no doubt about it that was a part of the deal. But you guys obviously, you played well on the road at Deming, you played well on the road at Albuquerque High. So and there were obviously some other things that just didn't go your guys' way last week. So
no, we'll get better. That's our kids have had a really good week of practice. they're upset with how we performed on Friday, and they've got a chip on their shoulder from last year against Oregon Mountain. But I think a bigger chip is just how well we didn't play on Friday, and just the lack of kind of energy that we've shown the first 3 weeks that we didn't have the entire time. You go to that fourth quarter when we make it a drive and get a stop immediately and get another shot at it. That energy was really back up again, but we missed it for a huge part of that game. And that's something we talked about Monday morning when we evaluated film and we're talking to our kids about it. We've got to bring that from the start.
Yeah. You guys get Oregon Mountain this week, and obviously the start of district, and we talk about this every year. It's 0-0 now, and you all recognize that if you don't perform well in district, playoffs won't happen. And it starts right here with this game, especially that you feel like you got to have every game, but this is one that may be right at the top of the list. And you talked about last year, that was an extremely tough game for you guys. It was you still talk about it, how frustrating that game was for everybody.
One.
And a lot of these guys were part of that team last year, so I'm sure in their head they remember it and want to have that chance to.
Well, they don't get a chance to forget it because it gets brought up.
Yeah.
You go to last year and Oregon Mountain made plays when they needed to and beat us. I thought we played really well offensively from the 20 to the 20 and moved the ball up and down the field. We just turned it over a lot. I think we ended up with 7 turnovers and a turnover on downs in that game. And that's something that we've really focused this offseason about. But, every week's a new week and this year's a new year, and we got to play well on Friday night. And Oregon Mountain's going to come in. It's a really good football team. They're well coached. They're well disciplined. They've got a ton of playmakers. It's a lot different than the team they had last year when they were just big and tried to line up and bully you around. They've got a bunch of athletes now and spread it out, and they live in 10 personnel and gun. They love it, and they'll get into their heavy sets, but they love 10 personnel. And they got 2 really good receivers that were probably the best ones we've seen all year.
And I think that's the other part of it as well. Is I think the last couple of years they've gone into district, and it's been they'd been struggling in non-district up to that point, and so now. They've gotten a couple wins under their belt. They had a crazy win against Deming earlier this season. So their confidence is probably a little bit higher than it's been coming into this game with you guys say than it was last year. So you're seeing it just a different program, a different experience altogether.
Yeah, and they're coming in this year at 2-2, and you talked about that Deming game. They won. It's one of the weirdest innings I've ever seen in my life. They had the time's expired. There's the last play of the game. They throw a Hail Mary. They catch it, get called for offensive pass interference. So they replay the down, move it back, throw another Hail Mary, don't catch it, but get called. Deming gets called for defensive pass interference.
Oh, okay.
So now they got to redo it again for the third time, throw it another Hail Mary, catch it, no time on the clock. They win the game on that. It's one of the crazy innings I've seen. But that kid's a good playmaker. They've thrown another Hail Mary against El Dorado or Pius at halftime and caught it for a touchdown. He's good. He's a heck of a playmaker, number 14. But this group's got confidence for Oregon Mountain, and this is something they've circled this game to beat us. Very much like we do the same for them. That's a big game for us in district to get in the playoffs, and so they've done the same thing. I know they're sitting there telling their kids exactly what we're saying. You got to beat Alamogordo if you want to have a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah. So this will be a little bit different for you guys, with the exception of Deming. You haven't necessarily seen teams that go predominantly. Spread and are trying to throw it the entire game. So this will be kind of an adjustment in what you all have seen the last couple of weeks now.
It is a little bit. They still run a lot of option principles. Their quarterback, Jalen Gonzalez, is very athletic and throws it pretty well. They got their running back. He's a sophomore now named Romeo Jordan, who's electric. But they're just not hey, we're going to line up with 7 linemen and pound on you. Now, they will get into that. But they love being in 10 personnel and trying to force you and RPOing you and doing those things and force you to be disciplined defensively, which we've got to be really good at this week. And that's something that we've been pretty good about all year is being disciplined. But offensively, we got to line up. They're going to load the box. They're going to play straight man across the board. We got to take our shots vertically down the field with our speed and skill guys and complete those passes and not just call pass plays and then don't throw and make run plays out of them. We've got to stretch them vertically and open up the run game. And I think we have a good scheme this week offensively to get after them and try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that's last week offensively, it seemed like Piedra Vista did a good job of kind of shutting down your option with Best and Bloom. And you guys obviously got some yards going in a few series there, but obviously trying to get back to the success that you had running the football that you had over the first 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and that goes to us up front. That was one of the worst games we played up front, offensive line wise, in a long time. And just the execution. If it was always just 1 or 2 guys every play that was screwing it up, and it's not the same guy each play. And that's something that we haven't done. We've been pretty sound up front. They did a good job with their option game and everybody's will not let Best get on the edge and make plays, and because everybody's seen it in 3 weeks before that what he can do when he has the ball in his hands, so they're not going to let that. And Bryson never really got loose. PV did a great job of running the football, which is what Oregon Mountain's going to do. They're going to run to the football. They're going to play man. They're going to make us have to beat them throwing the football.
Well, we always talk about it, or you always talk about it. We wouldn't have homecoming if we didn't have a football game on Friday night. So it's obviously encouraged the community to get out there and support it all.
Yeah, no, get out here and bring a poncho or an umbrella.
Well, hopefully, hey, you guys. I mean, it was like 80% rain up in Farmington, and you guys got through that whole game last week. So maybe
it was a heck of a light show when you're playing.
Yeah.
That lightning all around us was impressive. But that storm missed us. That storm, whatever that cell was still around, was about 20 miles away, and it just lit up the sky the entire night. So I mean, it was pretty. But it's homecoming. It's special, and it's special for all the alumni of Alamogordo High School. I believe we had the class of 2005 in the parade yesterday. I'm sure they'll be around tomorrow night with their 20-year reunion. This is special, but like I always say, homecoming doesn't happen if there's not a football game, and nothing matters until 9:30 at night when the football game's over, and it's a lot better to go to that dance on Saturday night with a win.
Very good. Coach, good luck, and we'll see how it goes on Friday.
Appreciate it, man. Go Tigers.